Hi, everybody who's joining at the moment. I see that people are coming. We still have 3 minutes until the official launch. So I'll start immediately at the time, but just for a few minutes, I'll be silent. Two minutes to go. One minute left. So everybody who will join after the event, that's okay. We will have sharing the recording and the slides. So everyone who would like then after the presentation to get everything as a material, we'll send it out to all the participants. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I will see who exactly participated. So we will just distribute them on all the subscribers to the event. All right, it's time to start. Hello, everybody. My name is Olena, and today I'm the speaker. I will present myself a little bit later. And today's topic is speech analytics in 2022. So who am I? I'm CEO and co-founder of Ender Turing. I'm ex-professional skydiver, so I have some grit. And I'm obsessed with business efficiency that brought my AI research towards this topic. And being an AI researcher, I understand what's behind it. And today I would like to share with you what's under the hood of speech analytics, how it's different to what was before. Like speech analytics is not the new term. It exists for at least a couple of decades. And after this presentation, you will be able to get the recording and slides, and then it will be a little bit of surprise in the end. So what's speech analytics today? When I was starting the research, speech analytics was something for just scientists and data analysts. And it was starting with speech to text. So speech to text is not something uncommon. You probably had this technology used already in your mobile phone when you just click the recording or something, and then you speak in and it transcribes everything into text. So that's speech to text. And current speech analytics utilizes that to create not the raw text, but a dialogue of 2 or more people. And it can distinguish between speakers, it can do punctuations and a lot of different stuff. And then natural language processing comes in. So after we got some raw text, we can analyze it with other neural networks. So speech analytics, speech to text is a neural network. Then natural language processing also a neural network. What it does, it classifies conversations by topics, it tags with keywords, phrases, maps conversations to different processes. It can be really, really different. And here's interesting point that not all NLP features will be present in all other solutions. And I will tell about that a little bit later. And then speech to text as well is very different. It depends on the language. It depends on what kind of model have been used, what brand it is. But what's come next? So we have the text, that's fine. And we have even analyzed it in some way. But then performance intelligence. And here's the trick that a performance intelligence cannot be something separated from other IT tools that companies use, because it's a part of ecosystem. If we want to grab something from speech analytics, it means that we have to connect it to other sources of data to make this analytics really work for business and give value. And the performance intelligence means that we grab information, let's imagine, from CRM system or recording systems, BI systems, whatever exists in the company, it has to be integrated. Then it means that that's a modern solution. And the value is direct to user already. So as I mentioned before, like a couple of decades ago, even just 10 years ago yet, the only user of speech analytics was a data scientist or data analyst. So the person who should analyze everything and provide business their requested result. But of course, it's a bottleneck. Current solutions work towards the end user. It can be individual agent in the call center. It can be a manager. It can be a C-level of the company. And all of them get their own value from that solution. And let's now start a small poll. I'm sorry, this is my first live webinar. I'm trying to launch a poll at the moment. So you just can take part in it. And two questions here. Do you have experience with speech analytics? And if you had this experience, was it good or not that good? Just to understand the audience and to see how it works. All right, you see, that's quite interesting. All right, I will tell more about that a little bit later. So we will collect the poll results and then later I will go back to it. Right, so what's speech analytics? Quite understandable, right? We have audio, we transform it into text, we analyze it, we grab all the necessary information, what is necessary depends. And then we provide this information in aggregated and easily digestible, normal human way of data to end user, whether it is an linear employee, manager, or C-level. So what it can help with, main current application of speech analytics is for, of course, generating new revenue for companies or generating more revenue or conversions or whatever. Then it makes sense to apply to sales rep efficiency coaching. The general idea is that all these sales conversations are processed, analyzed, what are the successful patterns in those conversations, and then those successful patterns are used for coaching and training. How it's used, it's also depends. If the company has something specific for workforce management, for training and coaching, has this process already enrolled in the company, then they just get this data and use it in their process. If the company doesn't have any of that processes yet and want to set it up, then it looks like the great idea is to find a solution that already has analytic part and coaching part inside. And there are such solutions on the market, so it's not that hard to search for it. Then the second point is quality assurance, and probably from quality assurance, it even came first. So first who applied speech analytics were companies who really doubled down on the customer service quality, and they applied it in their call centers to analyze work of agents and let's say, monitor their correct communication, whether it is, let's imagine, verification of a client, filing correctly the request of a client, first call resolution or first request resolution, and all of the different things. And still it works and improves a lot. So if we just look at the solutions that existed 15 years ago, it was, and now it's a full force quality assurance solution end-to-end, from the conversation to the final metrics and scores, made it automatically. So it's just awesome. Then the third is for marketing, for product teams. It's the voice of a customer and operations as well. So how previously companies really dealt with the voice of a customer. We were just guessing why our customers happy, unhappy, leaving our websites, calling our support and whatever. And despite the fact that agents just logged their steps, it was quite limited functionality. Let's imagine that agent who's responding a client request has a drop-down list of topics and requests of a customer. And what if this doesn't fit, or a person, an agent, is not trained well to understand how to classify this request? We actually had in our experience a client who had 68% of a request to a call center marked as other. So this category other just took 68% of information. Of course, it's really difficult to make any decision based on that. Current speech analytics gives possibility to business to analyze to detail what customers were really talking about, what were they frustrated with, what they struggle when they go to your website and then, let's say, can't do something, can't find something, then they call or chat with the support team, and they explicitly say everything like, I was trying to do that, I couldn't do this. And then business can categorize that and understand where their customers are struggling, what's going on there, how to fix it. And the third one is employee engagement. Unfortunately, not all the companies yet very interested in holding their employees or engaging them, making them happy at their workplaces. But good moves are there. We knew it. It will come. So what does it provide? That's transparency in scores, first of all, for employees in their performance. So they can see, for example, what they are struggling at, what parts of conversations, what topics, and ask for help actively. And there is no need to wait one-on-ones with the manager for 2 weeks to know what you are lacking of. And this really makes a magic with internal culture, retention rates, motivation of people. There are countries where it is not allowed yet with AI to analyze performance of individual employee, but there are some possible workarounds to that. Right, we have a poll result, and I can say that 38% of present here today had experience with speech analytics, which is quite good. 38% is approximately the penetration of speech analytics to retail industry. That's interesting. And yeah, 77% say meh to that speech analytics. And that's exactly what I will talk about right now. So what are the species of that speech analytics solutions on the market? Where are they coming from? Where you can find it or bump into it? So first of all, that's call center solutions. Currently, a lot of call center solutions say they have speech analytics as an add-on to their, or like a part of a feature or something. And for those, that's first of all, very obligatory to check what's inside, because what they call speech analytics can be absolutely different from what I'm saying now, from what I was describing. Then the second one, quality and workforce management. That's more towards what I already described. Those solutions, if they use speech analytics, usually look like what I described. Then CRM add-ons. In most cases, in CRM add-ons, you will see notes taken automatic. So it means that when a manager or sales rep working with the CRM, they put notes manually or with voice, and then that voice note could be translated or transcribed into text. And that text can be, let's imagine, summarized, taken some intents from that, or marked with some keywords for easier search later. So different types. And then sales tools, augmentation, and coaching. That's absolutely different bunch of softwares that especially focus on training and maintaining and coaching sales stuff. And in many cases as well, monitoring and giving advice. What's important to check? So let's imagine that you decided, oh, we need the summarization for our CRM system. How we do that? And you are looking for a speech analytics solution to have possibility to analyze that, make some reports on that, etc. So first of all, there are a lot of speech analytics that work on so-called word spotting. It means that such systems do not transcribe the conversation completely. They just spot different keywords inside audio and then mark a conversation with such called tags. Like, for example, in this conversation, your competitor name was mentioned. And in that, a problem, customer referred to a problem, and in that is something. And you don't have really an understanding what's the context of that. It's just a keyword, a tag. And it looks like, wow, cool, I can just spot everything. But imagine that a team of 10 people in the company during the day, if it's a real hardworking call center agent, generates approximately 3 hours of audio. So 10 people is 30 hours of audio. And if we divide it into the average length of the conversation, that it means it's like hundreds of those calls. And if you spot 60% of them saying a competitor name, it's just impossible to listen and understand what's the context. So in my opinion, and what we saw with other companies, word spotting, it's kind of already yesterday solution. Then Rich API. What is API? That's a special interface that allows different softwares talk to each other. And why this is necessary as speech analytics solution? The standalone solution is a bottleneck. What companies really need is to have an ecosystem. This ecosystem will allow to have a cumulative effect of different softwares working together. For example, if we have a CRM and we put in CRM the results of a conversation, like was the meeting set up, or we are going to sign a contract, or something else. And then we want to know what types of conversations really lead to that results. Or for example, a customer gets annoyed all the time. So we want to know what type of conversations and what exactly the context of that drive our customers crazy. So all of this needs to be connected. And the third very important point is that the solution should be not manual, meaning it cannot be just one more tool in your IT infrastructure where you have to surround a lot of different manual processes. It has to allow you end-to-end process for something to eliminate this different chains where it can get broken. For example, from a conversation to a final business result for different roles, whether it is a manager who wants to see their own very clear path between their KPIs and current conversations, and for supervisor also, and for agent as well. Like, how am I performing? Why? And what I can change to do better. And here is a very logical thing out of that. Companies struggle with ROI on speech analytics. And you can find even now lots of statistics, like 13% of companies only who integrated or implemented speech analytics got to the results that they have expected. We noticed that we talked to different companies, interviewed them, and there was a pattern. First of all, like many of them say that brands overpromise. When a sales rep from a brand with speech analytics come in, they often offer a lot of things that can be done, and maybe it's even can be done, but it's not working as a default feature or a default process, and that should be set up. And somewhere in between of these expectations of a customer from the first meeting and to the project that was delivered in the end, in this period, something happens, some magic, that the system doesn't provide what it was expected. And here's the limits. And I want just to start with some basic limits that everybody have to understand. First of all, speech analytics is expected to deliver 100% accuracy in speech recognition. Never happens. So we are human. We actually got used to read something very accurately or good written, books, newspapers, posts, whatever. Some mistakes can be there, but in speech analytics and speech to text, the issue is following. Let's imagine this is a call center and people are sometimes calling from a very bad connection place, or they mumble, or they start crying, or the dog is barking nearby, or something like that. And some percentage of those conversations are really difficult to recognize even with your own ears. Neural networks are not magic, and they're not yet that cool as human brain, despite the fact that a lot of researchers work on that and a lot of computing power. Still, in a call center, that's a great result when we have 80% of everything recognized correctly. 80% is absolutely enough to have good analytics, to have a possibility to track patterns and everything. But sometimes when you stuck with some badly recognized text, you just think, wow, that's really a bad thing. Of course, I don't say that when it's like 40% only correct or 50%, that's a nightmare. That's really unreadable at all. But just to be sure that your expectations are at that level. Then the next limit as well, it will not understand the context as a human brain as well. So there is some preparation part before it starts working good, like between a month and 3 months, the company has to adjust. What are you looking for? What are you analyzing? What are your requests to set up system properly to provide this result? Sometimes people think that, oh, this is neural network, that's artificial intelligence. It's just plug in and get the result immediately. It doesn't work that way with any company. Then the second point, lousy or no processes. I have a lot of text on my slides, but I want you then, if you screenshot that you have my comments on that as well. If there is no employee assessment, feedback, coaching, or other processes that really support business, then speech analytics doesn't replace that. Even this is end-to-end solution that can be set up, that can be amazing, helping and everything. It will not replace what is not existing. So first of all, there should be understanding of what drives your business to the final result, to desired result. And then analytics can be a tool that enables that makes it 10 times faster, 10 times better, but still there should be something. And third thing is not connected to KPIs. So how it comes, company says, okay, we will get speech analytics and then we'll see. No, when somebody implements something and it doesn't work in the first week, everybody just start forgetting about it. It doesn't work. So no, first things first. And I will show then a real case with KPIs that companies set for themselves before they started implementing the solution. And I have a question here. I'm sorry, I answering it late. I will jump a little bit on questions as well. In which countries AI is forbidden to assess real human being performance? It's Germany. Yep. I believe that you could find somebody else, but Germany is really, really tough on that. There is on a law level that you cannot do this. Okay, and you are welcome to throw all the questions and I will answer that. Yep. Okay, let's move forward. So what's successful implementation? So we saw the limitations existing. We see that if it was not connected to real business value, then it does work. So how it works? First of all, that's a real one for financial institution company, financial services. They involved one manager per department. What are the departments? Sales, it's a call center with sales, customer service, and debt collection. So 3 managers from 3 departments who really understand what's going on inside, what's their KPIs, what's their struggles in the departments at the moment. They were involved in the process. Second, they set very clear KPIs and they agreed on that KPIs with the company who were implementing speech analytics to track the current state before they started using and changing processes. And then in 3 months of that, how the results changed or situation changed with speech analytics. Right, then direct data flow from each conversation to final result. So all the systems have been integrated. It's a recording system that provided logs of live chats, calls, some video chats, not many of them, but mainly calls, and then integrated to a CRM. And in the CRM, they already tracked the results of the conversations. And for each department, it was different. So each department have their own KPIs, have their own processes. And all of the layers of people were involved, managers, supervisors, and agents themselves. So they put dashboards for managers, scoring and feedback to supervisors, and self-assessment, self-coaching to agents. And then it really brought results. Here's the example of KPI set. You see it marked because it's like from a real company in the process of their setup. And they had these combined goals for the business, but they were tracked from telesales, debt collection, customer service, and they had some ideas. Then they created it like a focus KPIs, then explanations, business goals. Here also, as a part of the table, was current rate for each KPI and the result one. I will not stop here for a long time, but you just get the idea. Nothing like not a rocket science. You just grab Excel sheet, you put people together, you interview them, set the KPIs, agree that, and go forward. And one more, but that's a banking case, and it was interesting. They created a massive change process in the organization. They took head of operations involved. They created a new or implemented together with the system new benefit program for agents and engaged with scores. There were leaderboards, prizes for progress, for self-coaching progress as well. And they created such called culture of linear coaches where top performers in their different departments were allowed to be or offered to be a linear coach to their peers, providing some feedback to the conversations, sharing their experience, and it just worked fine for them. But of course, the organization should be ready to make those changes. And let's move to the next part. So that's all okay. You can analyze everything, you analyze tags, you set up all these interesting processes, and it works. But what to start from? And readiness check. Not all organizations should just immediately go and buy speech analytics for themselves to increase sales or NPS or resolve FCR. The first thing, is there a clear goal at the moment? If just excitement, that's not a point. First of all, we have to sit together and speak about what's the goal. The second, is there a practice of calls, meetings, recording already in place? Yeah, like huge organizations that are regulated, they have to do some recordings, maybe for some legal or government processes. But a lot of companies don't do that, and they see is like, okay, well, what's the problem? We'll just start recording. No, it also doesn't work this way. Sometimes the situation in the company is so that sales reps are just starting feeling stress on that. Like, I'm being recorded. My manager will listen to my conversations. What will happen next? So it's also a steady process that has to be done. Does a conversation review process exist? If there were no recordings, then probably no reviews. And then probably people really will, again, feel uncomfortable that they are monitored. So it's necessary to be prepared for that. Do you know your top performers in a team? Are those top performers really capable to share their knowledge? Do they want to do this? Or they just prefer to stay stars and nobody like getting interfered with that? And if there are no's to that, can it be fixed? So if there are yes to everything, that's cool. If no, then try to fix it. What's no successes? It's like all the happy families are happily equally, but all unhappy are unhappy with own themes. So first, that's integration of word spotting and not full text. Very limited theme, no high results, and no links to KPIs. So company that doesn't link it to the KPI also doesn't get good results. Then users are data scientists. Wow, not the call center manager, not the another person in the call center, but a data scientist, and you have to go and get the data from them. Then they didn't shorten the cycle between action and feedback, meaning that the speech analytics is in, everything is much faster and everything is analyzed, but the processes are the same, one-on-ones, once per month. And the feedback is provided without not in the relation to the real conversation. That doesn't work. And some companies just start using speech analytics as a punishment tool, just pointing out all the bad things that are happening and not praising the good ones. That's also a bad thing. I thought of making a real demo, but then I understood that everybody have their own questions and expectations of that. And for the real demo of how speech analytics can be used for different cases, you can just go to our website and sign in for the real demo, no obligations, nothing. And you don't have to have in mind that you spend our time. Don't hesitate, just book a demo and we will talk about that in details. And I also would like to announce our next event with call review. And we'll discuss, like, is it really 20 times faster Or is it a total disaster when AI makes conversation analysis and scores conversations of agents? And there I will do a real demo because that's just one case and you will be able to see that. Thank you for watching. I was trying to be quite short to have the possibility for you to ask some questions, but I see not that many questions today. I got responses from people that they will not be able to participate because of the time difference. We had participants from Canada and the US, different parts. So thank you very much. You can go to our website, subscribe to our newsletter to get more information and then to get notifications about our new events. And also, if you want a real demo or discuss just a case, maybe some questions, others, don't hesitate to contact me as well. And I would be happy if you subscribe to our new event. And hopefully this first one was not the worst one. Thank you very much for taking part and see you soon. Bye.